I'm Jonathan.
I'm Ashley, and we are Tiny Shiny Home.
Our family is building an off-grid desert homestead from the ground up here in Cochise County, Arizona.
And for the last 2 months, our family has been building a permanent covered shelter for our renovated vintage Airstream.
That's right, our family built and installed this DIY metal truss cover with no construction background. This structure will protect our tiny shiny home from the elements as it lives out its days on our property.
This is a 19 by 36 foot heavy-duty open frame carport with a concrete pad foundation. But it's not just a cover.
This installation also includes an outdoor living space, rainwater harvesting and storage, a solar-powered filtrated water pump house, gray water septic, and full AC power coming from our DIY off-grid solar power system.
So, why did we build it?
When we moved onto this raw land over 2 years ago, we were coming off of traveling full-time for 5 years. We parked the Airstream right in the middle of the property and got to work.
First, it was a fence to keep the cows out, then pressurized water, our solar shed office, and an earthbag chicken garden.
Over time, we realized that the trailer was actually parked right where we needed to build our house, so the Airstream Carport project was born.
Or as we like to call it, the airport. Moving our tiny shiny home to its final resting place was a huge milestone, both here on our homestead and for our family.
She carted us over 100,000 miles all over the country and has served as a true home for our family of 6 for the last 5 years. And she'll continue to be our home while we build our house.
So before we start, let's take a minute and appreciate all the adventures that this 50-year-old trailer has taken us on.
So we knew that whatever we built couldn't just be any old pole barn. We would have to build something that would protect this piece of our family's history for years to come.
And the first step is to define exactly what we want out of this building. Number 1, we wanted an open frame design. Our main goal was to strike a balance between protecting the Airstream but still allowing us to see our beautiful property. I mean, the views are why we moved here.
Number 2, a gabled roof. Having the roof pitched to the east and the west would allow us to keep most of the rain and the hail off, while also using the angle of the sun during different seasons to keep it warm in the winter and cool in the summer.
Number 3, an outdoor living space. Extending the cover and the cement pad past the trailer would add a highly functional additional living space for our family while living in such a tiny RV.
Number 4, high wind tolerance. Here in the high desert, we have sustained winds of 50 miles an hour during the winter and spring, and microburst updrafts of potentially 100 miles an hour during the monsoon season. Whatever we use would need to be rated for these conditions.
Number 5, a steel frame. Due to the open frame design and harsh desert conditions, we felt like metal was the way to go for increased strength and durability.
Number 6, rainwater catchment. With water tables dropping in our area and wells becoming a poor investment, our goal is to one day live completely off of rainwater, so this roof needed to be set up for that.
Number 7, sustainable materials. A big part of our goal in moving here is to be as sustainable as possible.
At this point, we've built a lot of earthbag buildings using the existing materials on our property, but as we move into this kind of construction, we hope to keep those materials as sustainably sourced as possible.
Number 8, we want to assemble it ourselves. We want to be able to build this building just our family. As you know, this homestead journey of ours has been filled with learning and becoming more self-sufficient. Ideally, we could find a company that we could work alongside to design for our requirements, but then let us put it together as part of the owner-builder opt-out.
Number 9, off-grid grid. Finally, since this would be where the Airstream stays permanently, we need to use everything we've learned the last 2 years to create our own power, water, and gray water waste utilities.
We know all these requirements are a tall order, but like any good homesteader, we do our research.
We watched video after video, scoured blog after blog, and settled on a company called Miracle Truss after helping put together one of their buildings here locally. Their buildings are American-made from recycled steel, They come with a 50-year warranty. The main metal pieces are built like bridges for incredible strength, but they do use minimal standard lumber for flexibility and cost savings. They're easy to put together ourselves by renting a few pieces of equipment, and they provide fully engineered drawings for permitting, cement pad pours, and anchor bolt plans.
The process was actually pretty straightforward. We contacted Miracle Truss, and they helped us design our building based on our many requirements.
The final version of the structure would use a 12-foot vertical truss. This gave us 11 feet of clearance on the inside because our Airstream was 10.5 feet tall at its highest point. To keep it as low as possible, we went with a 3/12 pitch, which made it about 14 feet at the peak.
Square footage-wise, we settled on a 19 by 36 foot area, which should give us plenty of space in the front and back of the trailer, as well as about 8 feet of covered living space out the front door.
Miracle Truss was super helpful working with us to get the right dimensions. Once we finalized the plans, they sent technical drawings for approval, then we paid them, and they shipped everything to us to assemble. Okay, wait, we made that sound a little too easy. While designing and ordering the building was pretty easy, the logistics and planning of the whole project were not.
First was the foundation. You have several options for a structure like this. You can pour footers for the vertical columns to bolt into, a full concrete pad, or even just piers or columns.
In our case, since we wanted to park the trailer under the cover and have an outdoor living space, a concrete pad made the most sense. And while we have poured a few small pads ourselves, we do not have the equipment or the expertise to do something this big, so we would need to work with a local company.
In addition, we would need to rent a telehandler to set the top trusses, as well as a scissor lift to install the purlins, roofing, and gutters.
So coordinating all of this in the summer of 2022 turned out to be tough. There were cement shortages, supply chain bottlenecks, and insane monsoon rain events.
Let's just say we learned a lot.
Okay, a few disclaimers before we get started.
Number 1, this is a DIY building. It's up to us to assemble it, and our methods may not be the proper way to do it. Use common sense if you're building your own.
Number 2, while we did try to be as safe as possible during this build, we are not experts. There are probably safer ways to do it. Read your manuals and be careful.
Number 3, while Miracle Truss is not sponsoring this project, we are working together.
We're creating some marketing materials for them to use for advertising to help offset the cost of the trusses for us a little bit, but otherwise we are paying for everything on this project, and we will do a full cost breakdown at the end.
And finally, we do have an affiliate relationship with Miracle Truss, so should you decide that this building is right for you, and you mention Tiny Shiny Home when you order, we will get a small commission.
Ready to get started?
Let's go. Step was to lay the foundation. We coordinated with a local company called Wilcox Rock and Sand.
They built up the area, dug the footers, poured the pad, and placed the anchor bolts based on the engineered plans from Miracle Truss.
And they nailed it.
Here's where we ran into problems.
So much rain. Guys.
So much rain. They
I'm
come
bored.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and they're going to be done.
Yep.
And it rained all weekend.
4 inches.
4 inches in the desert is a lot.
But that kind of pushed back a whole another week because not only was the footer full of water, our soil was completely saturated. There's no way heavy trucks could come in here without getting stuck.
Also, the roads were trashed.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't even think they could have gotten here, let alone made it up into the yard and not messed everything up.
So we waited an entire week, but the day finally arrived. They're here.
Yep.
The biggest concern is, will they get stuck here?
Yeah.
They made it over the culvert.
It's pretty muddy.
Yeah. I'm really nervous about them getting stuck in the yard, but they said it should work, so
Okay.
we'll see.
Jeez.
By the end of the day, the crew was able to remove the forms and clean everything up, and they headed out. Like, it was done in a day.
Our job after they left was to keep that whole surface area misted down, and we put a tarp on top of it to sort of hold that moisture in. And we waited
10 days.
10 days before we sort of uncovered it and moved to the next phase.
We've been talking over something casual, and you got that wonder, supernatural. Breathe you in, hold it out, come around, and I know I'ma keep you in view. I've been waiting forever for somebody like you. I'm falling underwater, no more light, can't get enough. Maybe we're too young to keep this right, don't change it up. We don't need to take this too far, we're feeling it right.
I know we said that we are control freaks, which is true, but finding a company like Wilcox Rock and Sand, which we can trust to do a job right, was a huge bonus because we just kind of got to sit back and not have to do that work ourselves.
So, big shout out to Wilcox Rock and Sand, not because they're sponsoring or we're affiliated with them in any way. We just like them, and they did a really great job. So our next step after the pad was poured was to wait on the materials to be delivered.
We've mentioned before that the summer of 2022 has been a minefield of delivery delays, high gas prices, incredible monsoon season.
Lots of wrenches were thrown into our plan. While high gas prices were making some delivery drivers a little nervous to drive cross country, thankfully the steel trusses got made quickly. We only had to wait a little bit for someone to pick it up and head our way.
It was really nice seeing that whole building on a trailer arrive at our property.
One issue we ran into early on was that we had to actually get those materials off of the flatbed truck.
Yes, and you may know that we do not have a tractor, so we had to call around, and we finally found a neighbor that had a forklift on his tractor, so he was able to come out and help us get it unloaded.
Yeah, because they were all bound together and they were really heavy. We could have taken each piece off individually, but goodness, that would have been the whole thing.
So a huge thanks to Bob and George, who let us borrow their tractor and forklift to get this off.
So what exactly did we get in this delivery?
Well, the main structure is built out of metal trusses. These trusses are separated into 4 pieces, a left column, a right column, and 2 top pieces. Our building has a total of 4 trusses, so we had 16 pieces total. They also delivered cross bracing poles with threaded ends, cord bracing angles, and all the metal roofing, trim, and hardware for everything.
Just a few more things about what to do once these items get delivered. Number 1, all materials need to be set on raised blocks to prevent rust. Number 2, the trusses need to be unbound from each other if sitting for a long time, or else the constriction can cause bends or warps and temperature changes. Number 3, the metal roofing panels should be taken out of their plastic to prevent rusting.
Now, the one thing Miracle Truss does not include in their delivery is lumber. The whole idea behind this building is steel for what?
Strength.
The whole idea behind this building is steel for strength and wood for flexibility.
This means that while they prefabricate the metal pieces, they design it in a way where you can use standard dimensional lumber to assemble. You'll see what we mean later. It's kind of hard to explain.
Lumber is not included in the price that you'll get from Miracle Truss. They do provide a cut list for you so that it's up to you to have that lumber delivered to your project.
Yeah, so for us, we needed 40 2x8x12 boards. We got 50 just in case because Arizona lumber sucks.
Behind me, there is a huge pile of 50 2x8s that are 12 foot long, and to preserve them, we're going to be burning them. It's an ancient Japanese technique called shoshugiban, and we're going to be burning it, scraping that ash, then adding a mixture of linseed oil and mineral spirits to seal it. Doing this helps preserve the wood for our desert climate, and it helps protect against insects getting into that wood. So we're going to get started on that today. We probably won't finish it because it's extremely late, but we're going to get started. Unfortunately, it's just gotten too dark, so we only got like 6 boards done. We'll be back tomorrow and finish it up. We have a pile of 50 boards. We've got 6 done, so do the math. How many more do we have? Leave it in the comments below. Just kidding, don't.
If you're thinking about shoshugibaning your wood, you are likely in the desert, and so you have to think about fire safety, right? This is a big propane torch. It's putting out a lot of heat and a lot of fire, and the last thing we want to do is to start a wildfire in the area of which the desert is very prone to. So a couple of tips. First is keep your boards up off the ground, so we use cinder blocks to do that. Make sure that where you are burning is a clear area. There's no grass, there's no weeds, it should be mostly just dirt. And also when you're burning, just stay away from that propane tank. And finally, have close access to water, just in case. And probably the most important thing is wind. The area we live in the high desert, we get high winds, often in the afternoon. So we have only been doing this wood burning in the morning. The wind is really the thing that can take a tiny spark and blow it and really start a wildfire. So fire safety, keep all that in mind, and enjoy your Shou bunny.
All right, friends, our concrete pad has been poured. It's cured enough that we can start working. We have our materials. We have our wood burned.
Okay, let's get going.
Started.
We
I
both
said
said
started
it.
and you said going, and this messed it all up.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, babe.
Hey, babe.
How are we putting this thing up?
It's a good question. The instructions from Miracle Truss show several different ways, but really it's up to us because this is a DIY building.
We're going to get creative, right?
Yeah, we're gonna improvise for sure.
I think we should start with the columns,
Okay.
and we'll set them in place and bolt them down.
Now, obviously, this is not a great long-term solution to just put your vertical columns up and they're only held down by the bolt anchors. So what you want to do is you want to get one up and then get your second one up and then use your girt boards and screw those into the welded clips as you go down the line to add some structural integrity to the whole thing.
Let's try the first side. No hands. You see what the problem here?
I didn't even look at the top. It's the wrong way.
Yeah. So this column actually needs to go on that side because the flat side here goes on the outside.
Yeah.
So make sure you read your instructions before you put it in place.
Read them 4 times.
We've read them so many times.
One thing that's cool is that Miracle Truss actually labels each truss, and on your plans they give you a letter and a number because they're supposed to be turned certain ways, and this really helps us to make sure when we're spending all this energy putting these things up, we're doing it in the right order. So we went 1, 2, 3, 4 on that side. We're coming back this way, so we're 4, 3, 2, 1. So jet, A2. Let's go. All right, we took a lunch break. I'm going to explain to you the process via the Miracle Truss logo. So what we have done is we put these columns up right here. We're going to get ready to put these columns up, but we have to wait until our oldest daughter gets back from work to help us lift those up. So in the meantime, we're going to take the top parts of the trusses, the left and the right one, and we're going to bolt them together and lay them on the ground and get ready for the crane truck tomorrow.
Plans from Miracle Truss. Each of these bays is going to be 12 foot center to center on the middle bay. So on the side bays, it's 11/8. So I need to go ahead and cut all these 2x8s to exactly 12 foot because, as you know, with dimensional lumber, you don't really get 12 foot. You get like 12 1/4 foot. That will give us a 2-inch overhang on each of the end columns. So we threw these up quickly because we were in a hurry.
Well, we were trying to stabilize all of these pieces here, yeah.
So the center one is cut to exactly what we need. We're going to go ahead and cut all these boards to exactly 12 foot. We're going to replace the end boards, and then everything we should be able to plumb from that point on. Our daughter just got back. We're on a very tight time frame. She's got another job. So we only have 4 more columns that gotta go up, and we have all the wood cut, so we just gotta get it going.
Go, go, go!
Oh my goodness, this is so new for us. What else should we share as we go to the next step?
Well, like we mentioned, read those instructions
Multiple times.
like 4 or 5 times. Make sure you know what you're doing before you start renting equipment. Make sure your columns and even the top truss pieces all match up with the letter number key on the drawings, and make sure to pre-cut that lumber so it's actually the right size. I also think we really wish that we had the scissor lift during this step.
All in all, this step was pretty simple, but it's the next few days that are going to get a little interesting. What are we doing today?
Well, today we are putting the top metal trusses into place. This particular step is really where we took their suggestions for how to put this building together, and we had to get a little creative. Good morning.
We got a call this morning. My truck's broke. We can't make it. We're not going to put the trusses up.
Should we give a little backstory on the whole
Let's do
crane
that.
situation?
Okay.
So usually when you're putting up a building like this, you would rent what's called a telehandler. Basically, it's a big off-road vehicle with a large extending arm that goes up and down. You use that to set the top pieces into place, and every place around us that we call is completely out of these. They're rented out. They don't know when they're going to get them back. We thought we were going to have to wait a couple of months to even put this thing together because we couldn't find this equipment to rent. But we found our neighbor. He's like, I think we can make this work. So he had a crane truck, and he's going to bring it over this morning.
And then it broke.
And then it broke.
And we thought, well, we're not doing it. But then he just called back. He's got another truck. He may be able to use that.
So fingers crossed. He's going to bring it over. We'll see how it goes.
But before he comes over with that truck, we really need to install the X bracing on the bottom middle bays.
It's 2 large poles, essentially, with threads on the end. We're going to make sure that at least the bottom ones here are put on before he comes over. It'll strengthen everything, kind of sturdy it up.
Let's just show you.
Let's just do it.
Now that it's in place, it's time to set the top trusses.
Thanks to the instructions from Miracle Truss, we knew we needed a few items for things to go smoothly. Heavy-duty strapping to lift the trusses, heavy-duty rope to attach to each side so we could help guide the truss while in the air, and pry bars or drift pins to line up the holes.
Then it's just a matter of setting that truss into place, lining up the holes, setting the bolts, tightening the nuts with the washers.
Yeah, and similar to when we put the vertical columns up, once you get 2 of the top trusses in place, then you want to go back with your purlins and connect those so that it starts to strengthen and connect the whole building together as you go down the line. Remember, we needed a telehandler. We couldn't find one to rent.
No.
Then a crane truck was supposed to come this morning,
And then it broke.
and now a bucket truck is coming at the last minute. Man, we're getting really good at improvising.
We are. Also, let's hope this works. talk for just a minute about how fast this is going up.
This is a strange feeling for us.
We are not used to this. We're used to building with earth bags and it taking 3 months to get to a point like this.
Not 2 days.
No.
Yeah.
I like it.
All in all, setting those top truss pieces in place only took like 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
We even had time to go to Talking Irons and get snacks and drinks.
Which is always a good day.
Yeah. Let's talk about safety.
Okay.
Because this was definitely one of the most dangerous things we've ever done. How much do you think they weigh? 300, 400, 500 pounds?
I think probably 3 or 4.
Yeah. Of metal, way high up in the air. So we made sure that the straps we bought were really heavy duty. And we made sure no one was standing under those trusses.
We were very careful. And we made sure the kids were very careful. We had a long talk about everything beforehand.
For sure. I will say too that the bucket truck actually worked really well for this installation.
He was able to maneuver it a lot more than he would have been able to with just the crane.
So one last thing. I have to say that those drift pins 100% made a huge difference in putting these together.
I don't know that you could have done it without them.
Definitely grab yourself some drift pins. So tomorrow I go pick up the scissor lift. We're going to get working on leveling and squaring and plumbing everything and putting all the purlins in.
And of course, immediately after you got back with the scissor lift, we got rained out.
Of course, monsoons of 2022. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be honest, these next few steps are a little fuzzy for me because it was like non-stop up and down on the scissor lift. Back and forth, all over the place, tightening and retightening and fixing one thing and changing the other thing. The goal was get everything level, plumb, and square. Well, this is a problem. You cannot be in there. You will get crushed.
Is it Tiger?
Come on, man. Let's go. We got work to do. Get out of there. Oh my gosh.
I'm staring at the ceiling, so vivid and clear. I don't need a crowd, I got your company. It's something that you do to me. You take me over. I'm stuck on your view and your clarity.
36, 1.5. Close enough. Okay, we're working on getting this last truss. It needs to be pushed out just a little bit so that it's plumb. Guys, my safety measures for you. Nobody stands in this bay because when we loosen these, some of these boards could fall. Also, don't stand on the outside of the building because that's the board that will fall the easiest. So stay on the corner outside that way. Cool? Thumbs up? Okay. We got our base purlins all in the right spot. We used the X bracing to square the roof on both sides of the pitch. So, everything is good. Now we just got to tighten everything down. All the bolts need to be tightened.
We need to put all the rest of the screws and the purlins, and then we should be ready to come back and install the rest of the purlins after that. Finally got everything tightened up. So now we just have the rest of the purlins that we need to put in. Everyone else is gone today, so it's just me and Jet. Hey Jet. So he's gonna hand the boards up to me. I'm gonna put them in place, screw them in. Let's get it done. Time to put in the chord bracing. So these are angled brackets that they send you with some nuts and bolts. So we're gonna bolt one side in to the actual truss. There's already holes drilled for you. And then the other end, you're gonna take some screws and screw that directly into the purlin. So that makes sort of a cross-directional brace from the truss to the purlin. It'll make more sense once we get up there. The way these work is, we got a bolt and a nut. We're gonna bolt them here. And then we're gonna slide them up into place here and screw them into the purlins. That's pretty much it. The only other thing about the chord bracing is that they need to alternate. So you can see that far one is on this side of the truss, then this one goes to the other side, and then this one is back on this side. So you just got to keep alternating on the middle ones. Obviously the end ones, they're all going to come in, but that's the other important thing, is you have to alternate these chord braces.
Also, watch out for X bracing, because apparently you gotta get it around. Let's see if I can go. There we go. Didn't think about that one. We are ready for the next step.
Which is the step that we've been dreading from day one.
Guys,
It's metal roof time.
when we metal roof, we don't get along very well. It's no good.
I've been waiting a long time for you to come around to me. And now that you're here, why don't you stay a while? You always give me a reason, and I don't understand the sign.
All right, it's time to put the metal roof on.
All right, we got the first panel up, so we're gonna do the opposite side just to make sure those peaks are lined up and we have the same overhang on the fascia side.
Hey, 4 pieces, only 20 pieces to go. It's going a little slower than we thought. It's okay, we'll get there. All right, so we have been working on these panels. We started yesterday and got about a third of the building done. Just when we got the hang of it, we reached the middle bay where we've got all this X wind bracing that is just all sorts of in the way. It's in the way for the scissor lift to be able to come out. It's in the way for it to go up because it sits further down. So things are definitely going a little slower. I think we're starting to figure out some ways to work around it. Once we get past that, then that last bay should go really quick. We just want to get this done so we can get the side pieces on and then put all the metal trim on.
We don't really know where the world is gonna go, but now everybody knows that you can't stop for too long. Got to keep going. Don't really know where the world is gonna go, but now everybody knows that you can't stop for too long. Got to keep going. Don't really know where the world is gonna go, but now everybody knows that you can't stop for too long. Got to keep going. Don't really know where the world is gonna go, but now everybody knows that you can't stop for too long. Got to keep going.
What you want to be, going, you will see. You can have everything you want. It's your destiny, be in harmony. We were never meant to be apart. What you want to be, going, you will see. You can have everything you want. It's your destiny, be in harmony.
What are you doing?
So we've been making all our marks up in place, but these along the bottom are kind of critical when we get it into place because of the wind. I'm going to go ahead and mark my a little less than 3 inches all the way down so that as soon as we get it in place, we can just start screwing things in and we don't have to go back and forth and measure and then get the drill and all that stuff.
Some more.
Put the last panels up, we needed to go back to the north side where we began and put that fascia board up.
I mean, you can do this kind of however you want. We wanted to have a nice fascia trim, so we had to figure out that angle. It's a 312 pitch roof.
It was a little difficult, a little tricky,
yeah,
but we managed.
And then after that, we came back with the metal trim and had to do the same thing. Had to get it all cut so that it lined up.
Yeah.
We finally got it. The last few panels are also a little tricky because up to this point, we were able to put the panel in place and then come to the side of it and go up and sort of stand over and put all the screws in. Once you get to the end of the cement pad, you can't do that anymore. So I had to get up back on the roof again, and you guys had to come hand it to me, and I had to screw most of it in from the top.
Which actually is a normal way to do it. We were just trying to keep him off the roof as much as possible.
Once those final panels are on, we could do the fascia and the side trim on the other side, and then we got to focus on the ridge cap.
Step into the weekend. I'm stuck inside the sequence. It's like keeping it a secret. It's all I do. Yeah, yeah. It's okay. It's alright. That's what I tell myself. I tell myself it's okay. It's alright. Do with it what you will. Tell me how you really feel. Dancing in the dark. Can you see what's come between us? Dancing in the dark. I want that real love. Want that real love. Pinch me if I'm dreaming. Wake me up inside this feeling. We're so in and out of season. But what can I do? It's okay. It's alright. That's what I tell myself. I tell myself it's okay. It's alright. Do with it what you will. Tell me how you really feel. Dancing in the dark.
Jonathan's up on the roof, putting the ridge cap on. I have one job, and that's to watch his crack. Looks good, babe. Looks good.
Step into the weekend. I'm stuck inside the sequence.
Oh, do you want it?
Sorry.
I was going to say something.
Hey, it's
Do you
finally
want me
gutter
to-
time. That's what I was going to say.
We're not gutter experts.
No, we're not.
We've only done it one time. Not even sure if we did it right, but it works.
Mostly. So,
It does work.
yeah. This was really long, though. It's going to be hard to put these together and get them at the right drop that
Yeah.
whole distance.
It's going to be difficult all around. I don't know why we didn't hire this done. Actually, I do know why we didn't hire this done. We got a quote and it was over $2,000. And then we were like, we'll do it ourselves.
Are we control freaks?
Yeah.
Yes, we are. Okay, so this is the last piece. We've got to combine a few pieces though. We need the downspout, we need the end cap, a coupler, and then we have to cut an actual piece of gutter to fill in the rest of the space so that it fits. Wish us luck.
I think it's called a seam.
Coupler, seam, whatever you want to call it. It makes the two pieces go together.
Alright, we got the first side, which is the west side gutters up. We have it caulked. All the seams are caulked, so the next step is we're going to throw some water up on the north side to make sure that it flows to the south like it's supposed to. Fingers crossed.
Okay, we are back for round 2 of gutters on the east side. What did we learn yesterday? We learned that seaming the gutters or coupling them is a huge pain. We learned that the scissor lift is super helpful. And what else? Anything?
I thought it went pretty smooth.
Overall, pretty smooth. Hopefully we have taken what we've learned and we'll do this even faster with less arguing.
It's like spiky like a cactus. Day 2, gutters. Are you a fan of gutters?
Nope, not at all.
Me either. Gutters are the devil.
Okay, let's get these stupid gutters up
Okay.
so we can do some
Rainwater catchment.
rainwater catchment.
It's
Yes.
supposed to rain tomorrow. We have to get them done. All right, ready?
Okay.
Let's talk about some of the issues we're having.
Man,
This is, can we say how many days we've been trying to put this
this
gutter
is
up?
at least the third day
Third day.
of the gutter on the east side of the building.
We've put them up and down, and then up again, and then down again.
It's not dropping. And
No.
even though we've measured down, we keep, chalking our line and we can see it dropping on the fascia.
Uh-huh.
It's either level or it's actually not. It's actually going up instead of down. So we measured from the cement pad up to the fascia. We're losing our minds. Like, Like, this is not how physics work. Like, what's happening? And so we called your dad, and he was like, well, it could be that the cement pad isn't perfectly level. So we put a laser level on that this morning, and it is, I mean, it's only off 1/4 of an inch.
We're going to chalk the line. We're going to put the level up and see if it's dropping.
And if it's dropping, we're going to put the dang gutters on and move forward.
All right, ready?
I'm ready.
Today's the day.
Today is the day. How many lines can we make on the fascia?
The slightest bit to the right.
We got a little rainstorm right in the middle of it. We've been having a heck of a time with the drought, but it looks like it's working. I'll take it. We are wrapping up our time with the scissor lift. So here's what we need to do. We got the gutters up yesterday. We're gonna do some leak tests, and then we're gonna try to get the 4-inch pipe downspouts installed, at least the vertical columns here. We're gonna do what's called a wet delivery system. So we're going down underground. It's gonna go right here, and then that pipe is gonna also come down, and it's gonna go underground, and they're gonna join together. They're gonna go around the side of the building, and then our big water storage tank is gonna be right in the middle. Then they'll come up and then they'll go over. The level of the water and the pressure of it coming down is enough that it will push underground and back up and into that tank.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
And I'll tell you what, trying to get this pipe to attach to this weird shaped truss is proving to be really difficult. Ashley has gone to the store, and we're gonna try to get some metal bar stock, and we're gonna essentially bend it around the pipe and bolt it in. The hard part about this is you can see this is a certain width, but then this on this side is actually smaller. I don't know if you can see that. So you can't put anything like flat behind it. Like, it's just a really awkward like situation. Just want to get this done. And now look behind me. You see this? Rain's coming in again. Now we've got a huge trench. So I'm gonna have to like cover it because I don't want it to get filled with water. I just want to get this done. Get him.
welcome to the garage. It's a disaster. Don't judge me. What we need to do now is make some custom, what would you call them?
Hangers, clips, strapping.
We need something to hold the 4-inch PVC to the outside of the truss. So we've got 8-inch steel bar, and I'm going to bend it into this shape.
I feel like we're in real deep at this point.
Real deep. But I think it can be done.
Fabricating our own pieces. What
This
are we
is
doing?
not a shop. This is like storage, garage, like there's so much stuff in here and it's really hard to work, but we just gotta do what we can do.
You want me to move that box? The one right there? Would that help?
Great.
Okay, I'll move it.
So that's the first step. Let me get this one.
I don't like it when you've been strapped. Oh, yeah.
So hot.
Do that again.
It's so hot. Okay, so I have that bent mostly. I'm gonna set this on here and kind of mark. So that's what you end up with. And then you put it back on here. Okay. All right, so we got the 2 4-inch PVC downspouts all put together. We are going to go ahead and spray paint those to kind of match the truss, but most important, the reason that we're going to spray paint them is because they are PVC and we live in Arizona. High UV here, and they will deteriorate over time. So we're gonna get started with that, and then I think we're gonna call it for the day.
Hey, look at these really cool straps you made.
Don't look close. They're not perfect, but I think they're gonna work just fine.
So we have the vertical pieces already made up.
They're gonna get scratched up.
They're gonna get all scratched
They can
up.
be, we can touch them up.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. So the hard part is gonna be, these are heavy pipes and we have to hold it in place and like
drill through a
holes.
lot of metal and then bolt things together. Yeah, so we're gonna try a few different things. We're not sure how it's gonna go, but again, last day of the scissor lift. Well, I don't
Yeah.
know. I probably haven't said that yet. Today is the last day with our scissor lift,
Mm-hmm.
so we have to get this high stuff finished up so we can load it up and take it back tomorrow. So the clock is ticking. Are you feeling the pressure?
Not really.
Not really. You're like, whatever. It'll
I just
be
want to
fine.
get started.
Okay, fine.
Let's go.
Take me on a trip around the moon. You add shooting stars to all my blue. I'm falling in love with every move. You give me something to lose, baby. All I need is. Thought I'd be stuck in a static forever, telling myself it could be enough. I didn't know that I was looking for something to jump until I jumped into us. Now I'm wrapped up and you can't deny it. Hit me like a hurricane of lightning. Baby, if I'm dreaming, don't you wake me up, up, up. Need you in my lungs. Take me on a trip around the moon. You add shooting stars to all my blue. I'm falling in love with every move. You give me something to lose, baby. All I need is give me something that I could lose, baby. Oh,
Yeah. See, I told you could do it. Bravo.
it's you. Every time you touch me, I swear that I see the future in everything you do.
Last one, babe. How excited are you?
I'm not gonna be excited till it's done.
I think you should be excited. Ada? What's Ada?
Ada? Cannot get anything stuck in there.
Can you imagine if we put it up there and there's a ball inside of it?
And then it messed up all of our water catchment. And it's all buried and we would never know what happened.
We'd be like, it's Ada's fault. I don't check. So this is a piece that converts this into a 4-inch pipe. This technically doesn't fit right, but it works really well because we want to be able to remove this if we ever need to take it down and like clean out the pipe or something. So I like it.
Give me something that I could lose. Baby, all I need is you.
Well, now that we've got the vertical ones in place, we've got to make all our connections and go underground. So the way we're going to do that is we've got a 45 coming out of there. We'll have another 45 that'll go straight down. That'll go into a 90, which then goes all the way down. And then at that junction, way back there at the corner, that will be a T. And so same thing, we'll have this that will come off of that one, go down in the top of the T. And then it's going to come out and make another 90 and go that way. And then we got to do whatever we got to do for the tank, which we won't get to until later.
You can't seem to find your garden. When days are dull, you feel sullen. You don't seem to grasp this buzzing in your ears. But these days all end in the gutter. You're hauling. You're hauling.
We just needed like 20 more minutes and we could have got it done, but every afternoon this freaking rain messing up plans.
I got a feeling that this could be a little more than feelings. If I'm being honest, honestly, you got me where you want it. You got me playing every card, spending all my time trying to find out more about you. Cause I really want you in my space, picking up every call, I'm falling all my money's.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You ready to take this back?
I'm done with the scissor lift.
Need love. I always thought I'd be enough, be enough, be enough. You show me what it means to see outside of me. God knows what I'd be missing. Now I really need your love, need your love, need your love.
Hey, the scissor lift is no longer with us.
Yeah, we had to drive like, what, an hour and a half
Yeah.
to this tiny town, and I know that they have a really good coffee shop, so we're gonna go check it out.
Coffee shop date?
Good sandwich.
It was really good. Yeah.
It's surprisingly good. So, what else?
Well,
We're in a small town. What can we do?
well, as always, hardware store date.
Yeah, always hardware store. headed home. But in Safford, there's a place called Mi Casa Tortilla, and they have fresh, warm tortillas. So good. Yeah, like, they're so good we can't stop eating it. Okay, that's all. Alright, we're back. Day 2, trying to get this done. The weather says it is supposed to rain, but it looks nice so far. So we're going to try to get it done before that comes. Wish us luck. Okay, all that's left is we need to make a 90. This is really hard to point to. We need to make a 90 and go back that way towards the tank. I think we're on the downward slope.
What are you doing?
So even though it is about to rain, we really need to know if any of these connections are gonna leak. So we're gonna fill up the wet delivery system until it starts overflowing here. Then we know it's full to this height. So if it's all good, we can cover this trench and be done with this project. Well, this part of the project. But yeah, so we're just gonna test it all before we fill in the trench. All right, you gotta look at this. I'm gonna turn you around. Look at this. So we got water up to the top of that, and there are no leaks. So with the water being about this tall, that means it's the same height over here, which is past this connection. This is the connection that we were most worried about. Anyway, the rain is coming and there are no leaks, so that means that we can get this trench filled in. So we gotta get started on that.
That's our temporary downspout until we get the tank put in. So, seems to be working. I hate that we're missing all this water though.
Every afternoon.
Monsoon is supposed to be over.
I know.
I don't know what the deal is.
I want to be thankful for the rain.
Not
but
this year.
This year we're just not.
We're over it.
Now I am thankful for it, but it's making it incredibly hard to get anything done or to finish anything.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ready? Wrap it up. Ready? Do you want to wrap it up? Hey, babe. It's bad. It's real bad. Ready?
Ready?
I'm gonna totally fall.
Please don't fall. Now let's talk about utility holes.
Don't ask us about our holes. We are going to tell you. Guys, just because we're off-grid doesn't mean we don't have water or power.
Still need to connect stuff, especially for a permanent trailer site.
It's true.
But it does mean we're about to turn the ground around this building into Swiss cheese.
Here's a list of the things that we need to run.
3,000 gallon water catchment tank. This will be partially buried for temperature regulation and a lower drop height to help with our wet delivery gutter system. So we need an 8-foot by 8-foot hole 3 feet down.
A pump house.
All we need hole-wise for this is a pipe running out of the big tank underground to where the pump house will be.
Gray water septic.
It's a 4-foot by 3-foot hole. It's about 5 feet deep.
We also need a solar conduit trench.
Future plans will most likely include using this roof to house additional solar panels, so we're thinking ahead and trenching from the northeast corner to our solar array, where we have 2 empty spaces on our combiner box. This will be a 70-foot run, 2 feet deep. And finally, we want permanent AC power coming from our solar shed. This is a 120-foot run and also 2 feet deep.
We are definitely not digging all these holes by hand. We are bringing in our neighbor Jason to help us out with this project. You want to explain what we're doing here?
The outlet of the water tank is at the bottom, and so we're going to be coming out of that and then underground to our water pump house. It's all going to stay underground so it doesn't freeze. And we're going to try to put in a couple of these access boxes on the way down so we can still get to the ball valve. So that means that this 8-foot square isn't quite wide enough for those to fit, so I'm going to notch this out, and then we've got to figure out some way to trench across here at 18 inches down, because that's the frost line, and then pop it back up. Swiss cheese. It's like Swiss cheese over here.
But you're in the shade.
I am in the shade right now.
And you look good. Babe, if you hit that flag, I'm gonna be so mad.
Why? It's just a flag, babe. No, don't do that.
What's it gonna do, babe?
Let's not have any maiming accidents with the pickaxe. Okay, I can't see, but we're going to start running conduit from this corner of the Airstream cover, the airport, to our solar panel array. At some point in the future, we plan to put a few more solar panels on the roof of this building. We're not going to do that as part of this main project, but while we have everything dug up, we're going to go ahead and at least put the conduit in and then cover it back up. We have run all the conduit. We'll run the wire later, so it's time to fill this trench back in so we can pull the truck in, put the pea gravel in the hole for the water tank. It's like a puzzle you have to put together one piece at a time, and this is the next piece. So let's go. Holy cow. Next step, we got a bunch of pea gravel that's been sitting in the back of our truck for
2 days.
2 days. It's like 2,000 pounds. Let's get it out of here. And we're gonna get it on the bottom of this, and so that we can...
This is where the water tank goes.
Yeah, so you want small rocks underneath your water tank that aren't sharp so that it can level itself as it gets filled up. And those rocks won't make holes in the bottom.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's it. It's late. Let's get this done.
Let's just say I wasn't over this unspeakable mistake. Today we laugh, but on the inside I'm drowning in the heartache.
Today, we are installing our gray water septic.
Now, I'm sure a lot of you will have questions, and we are going to do our best to try to answer them before you even have a chance to ask.
Our Airstream, we renovated ourselves. We put a composting toilet in it, so it doesn't even have a black tank,
Nope, just gray water.
just gray water. However,
Arizona is weird.
it's the only state that considers your kitchen sink water to be black water.
Yeah. Living in the Airstream, we have always wiped down all of our dishes. We wash all of our dishes in a separate basin, and so the gray water that will be coming out of the Airstream is coming from our bathroom sink and our shower.
You're probably also wondering why we're not reusing this gray water. That's obviously a tried and true permaculture technique, and we're all about trying to save water in the desert. However, we have a few reasons that we're not going to be doing that with this particular build.
Reason number one is the smell. We are very familiar with gray water smell, and since the Airstream is up updraft from where the house will eventually be. We just don't want to smell that long term.
Number 2, animals getting sick. Unless you fence off the entire basin that you're going to create for that gray water, they will go drink it and they will get bacterial infections. And don't ask us how we know this, but it's gross.
Reason number 3 is when we move into our house, there will be hardly any water being used up here at the Airstream.
Yes.
So long term, we don't want to like create a basin and have to water it that way. It's a whole thing. We thought about it.
We thought about it. Yeah, I was going to say, we definitely thought about it.
Yeah.
Decisions like this are hard. Like, we want to be as sustainable as possible. We want to reuse water here in the desert. But you also have to realize that there are certain trade-offs that you have to make in specific situations.
So let's see how we're going to hook all this up.
We got a 5-foot hole, and we need to put about 2 feet of gravel in the bottom of it. And this is not like regular gravel, it's actually made for drainage. So it's going to probably take a few truckloads. So we got the first one here. We're going to get it down in there and see how far it brings us up. Our gray water septic pit has 2 feet of drainage rock in it. We've got our 55-gallon barrels. We're going to drill 12 holes, inch-ish holes in the bottom of that. And then we've got to drill our larger holes to connect all the pipes. And then we can start filling up the gravel around. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
Hey, can somebody grab the end of this, please? No, go down to it's gonna go all the way down, so. Got it? Now, try not to let it get in the dirt. You're gonna step down in the trench.
Where's that?
There we go. Just like that. Look at that. We just need to fill around them with even more gravel. We're adding a wall here because the hole kind of blew out a little bit with the tractor. So in order to not have to buy a bunch of gravel, because we have plenty of dirt, we're going to try to keep this here and just fill the gravel from here over.
We'll take that wood out. It's not going to stay there.
Yeah.
Where's all of our other helpers?
Hey,
They haven't helped
you
us.
guys. Come out.
Would you hold me if I told you we can just run away? So come, my darling, let me help you. We can follow the sun and leave the rain for somebody else. Let's help ourselves. Leave our troubles on the shelf. And don't you worry, we're gonna find all we need in our sunset paradise. All the sidewalks and the highways, they will turn into dust as Mother Nature covers over every street we pave. Can lead the way for somebody else to help themselves.
Trying to pull the board out. How's it going, babe?
Not good. Should have done it early.
We probably should have moved it up as we went.
I don't think that's going to move.
You can do it.
actually lift on that.
Do you want me to get it?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Mom, you have no idea.
It's not moving.
Do you want me to get in there and help? Hey, babe.
No, you don't have the proper footwear. Flip-flops.
So, in hindsight, we should have lifted that piece of wood up as we were filling. Then it'd be much easier to get out. Probably just break the wood. Can you both grab the handle and pull up on it?
We have to get this gray water septic finished up. We're gonna take this pipe that's gonna go to the RV. We gotta finish gluing all this together, and then we need to do silicone around all the joints where the pipe goes in. We also have to build up some cleanouts. It's a whole thing.
Let me see it.
No, don't look at it. It's embarrassing.
I'm right there.
So we're trying to figure out cleanouts. And so Adela had a good idea that we'll just use a coupler. So we'll make a piece, it'll go down into that hole. It's a little high, but not too bad, really. I think that's good.
So how do you?
You just step on it. Final step before we can cover this all back up. Plastic, like a vapor barrier layer. We're going to cover all the gravel, and we're also going to cover this leach line gravel as well, so that as we put the dirt back in, it doesn't get down in the rocks and then it would just become like a mud situation. So we want to make sure that the gravel stays as drainage gravel. So that's what this plastic is for. Are you ready? I'm ready to be done with this. All right, one more time before we cover it all back up. We've got this pipe that will connect to the sewer out on the Airstream, gray water only. It's going to come down here, goes into the barrel. The barrel has holes in the bottom of it so that that will drain out, and then there's gravel underneath, which it will drain into. If this one happens to fill up too quickly, there's an overflow. And then if that one fills up too quickly, there's a leach line that runs 10 feet out that way, and that pipe also has gravel under it and holes in the bottom of the pipe. And then we've got the two cleanouts coming up out of the top. And then we've got the plastic over the gravel. So we're going to let this caulking cure a little bit better, and then we're going to start covering this thing back up. Okay, our last major goal for the day. Before it rains, we've got to get that tank in here.
We're very close.
One more.
Some more improvising going on here. We have to come out of this tank down at the bottom with the ball valve, but we want to be able to access it even though it's 3 feet underground. So we couldn't find anything tall enough, so we're going to take 3 of these and stack them up so that we can still reach down and get access. So this is in, however, we're a little worried about gluing anything to this before at least filling the water up above this to make sure that it doesn't leak. No leaks. So I think we're ready to start gluing some fittings on.
Some what?
Some fittings.
I thought you said footings.
Fittings.
I thought you said footings. Do you want to glue footings on there?
We're not pouring a pad. We're plumbing.
I think we should show this really cool invention that we came up with.
We're improvising again, guys.
Look at it.
We took 3 of these and screwed them together into one tall one.
Yeah, okay, so we need to spray the crack. We need to spray your crack. We need to spray the crack.
Yep.
Then we can fill this in with soil, right?
Yeah.
And turn our attention to a pump house.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I want to build a pump house.
I want to move up here.
I know. I know. You see that? We got really lucky that we made that little coupler long enough. We almost couldn't open the valve.
Can you imagine if we like put it all together?
And we covered it all back up?
Covered it, and then we went to open it for the first time and we can't move it. That would have been bad.
Does this mean we get to fill it in?
Yeah, as long as you backfill it with sand and make sure there's no sharp rocks, it should be fine. As long as we don't want to go over 3 foot, which we didn't. So it's time to fill it in. We're gonna fill this hole.
Yeah.
And then we'll have one last hole up here.
Yay.
We were going to quit, but looks like it's gonna rain, so we're gonna do our best to hook up this pipe here that's gonna feed from the gutters up to the tank. So hopefully we can catch some rainwater if it actually rains.
I'm in the light at the end of the tunnel. Paper stacks, yeah, I got them in the bundles. Harry Potter
breaking bread with the muggles. They said I wouldn't make it, now they looking puzzled. They said I wouldn't take it, how to go and hustle. Get the bag, it ain't never getting fumbled. In the jack, but we came up from the bottom. Through the cracks that the light pour in. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Go in there. Let's go. Let's go. No goodbyes, new flows, new highs, through the dark clouds, see the blue skies, it will be I, just you wait, it's a new day, ride in the storm like a new wave, shake, 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 move it to the beat now, got the heat now, deep down, we know, dive right in, let's go, move forward, dip in your toes, let the rhythm take control, it's going down tonight, yeah, dive right in, let's go, move forward, dip in your toes, let the rhythm take control, it's going down tonight, yeah.
It actually worked.
You said that we couldn't. Well, you said we.
Well,
You said that we weren't gonna have time.
you know how confusing the 4-inch fittings are for measuring.
Yeah, but guess who did it?
We did it.
Now I can paint it
Yeah?
and get it all done.
Okay. Go for it.
I will. This is another momentous occasion. We are taking down the posts. This was one of our first projects that we did when we moved out here, but we're going to be using these posts to build our pump house. But we got to get them taken down first. Power tool time. Jonathan's going to use a circular saw because last time we tried the chainsaw and the chain kept getting loose and it was very annoying.
It doesn't help that it's at a weird angle.
It's also 6 inches, so we have to cut like every side and that's still not deep enough. So we're gonna have to come back with a handsaw to finish it off.
Or we'll just break it.
I don't think we'll do that. Yes, we will. It is a very straight cut. Dad, do you want a wood chip? Eat it.
Is that a joke?
Eat it. It's a chip. It's a wood chip. Your next mission, go put these in the garage, where I will find them later, okay?
Does it make noise? Move.
Ouch! No.
It's time for,
Power tools.
well, yeah, that. Version 3 of our solar-powered pump house.
Yeah, we're trying different pump houses each time.
We tried the earth bag thing on the chicken garden.
It's too big.
Way overkill. The whole roof ended up being ridiculous. So we're going to pour a proper pad underneath. We're going to put in a drain so that if water ever does leak inside there, it'll come out the side.
All right, ready?
So I guess we got to go look at our wood situation.
Nope, we're gonna cut these first.
Okay.
You're just gonna wing it, and you're gonna like it. Be the first to admit that doing things my way, which means next to no plan. Well, I have a plan, it's just not written out. Definitely has its downsides, like realizing that your boards are 2x8s instead of 2x6s. So we're off to the hardware store, grab some 2x6s.
Hey, but how excited are you to be able to build something on a truly flat surface?
Very exciting.
This is the first time we've had like a big flat surface to work on.
Yeah, we usually build on the deck. Should we pour another cement pad? Like
Maybe
a workshop?
a work pad just to build
Yeah,
things
just
on?
to build things. Like a little 10 by 10. Almost done with the pump house. You remember how long it took with the earth?
Oh my gosh. Well, remember how it took long the first wood one took? We built it like 3
It took that
times.
long. You keep saying it took a long time.
It took like 2 days.
I don't feel like it took that long.
Okay.
It did.
Yeah.
So we're at a stopping point. But hey, look.
I know.
Did you see I didn't do any plans? And we just winged it.
We just wanged it.
Wang it. We've got to go into town tomorrow and decide what we want for the outside. That way we can continue finishing this build.
Wish us luck.
They don't need to wish us luck. We got this.
Okay.
Do you feel confident?
I feel semi-confident.
I feel very confident.
Okay, all right. Confidence looks good on you.
So mad. I just tried to set up the camera to record what I was doing and I forgot to hit record. So anyway, you missed it, but we got the little pad framed up for the pump house. So today we'll be going to the store, grab some concrete and get this pad done this weekend. This is very exciting.
Welcome to the most complicated, tiny concrete pad you've ever seen. This is only about 4x4, well, it's a little bit bigger. In case some component fails inside this pump house and it starts gushing water everywhere, we've put in a drain here so it'll flow out the side. We drilled a hole through the side of the form. We've got the water coming up from the tank. We have our all thread cut, so we're gonna put all thread in 2 on each side, and then our big 6x6 posts, we're going to have holes drilled in that, and so those will bolt down. We've got our metal rebar in there, so we just have to mix and pour.
Yep.
And then we got to set these bolts when it firms up just a little bit.
Yep. You ready to go?
Jet, you gonna be my mixer buddy?
Yes.
The problem with free-range chickens is they get in your cement pad. Look at that. Messed it all up.
Honestly. There you go.
Jeez. I'm always so nervous about that. I feel like as soon as I remove the forms, it's gonna like crumble or something.
Hey, look at that. That looks pretty good. Tractor is coming back to dig the last trench for the electrical. So my job before they get here is I need to dig up sort of where that AC power comes out. We terminated it here under the ground somewhere. Should have marked it better, but I got to dig in there, find that box, so we'll know exactly what direction to dig the trench to get up to the airport. We had our trench for the electrical dug yesterday, but we can't really make all the connections and pull the wire until we have the big 30 amp receptacle in place, which means the pump house needs to be set on the concrete pad that we poured the other day.
Yeah, so
It's all connected.
first step is to anchor down these base 6x6s.
And then we'll put the top building in place. We'll put a little piece of plywood and mount that box so we can pull
Temporarily.
run our
Like-
conduit. Yeah. But we have to do this because it might rain later tonight and we want to get all this like tested and get it covered back up because we don't want water filling up our trench where our electrical is.
Hearts worth falling for. Oh, and with open arms I'll carry yours. Come, rain or shine, I'll cover you up and calm the skies. As long as you are mine, I'll be there when you need me. You can count on it every time. It won't always be easy, but just as sure as the sun will rise, I'll be there when you need me. With every tear that falls from your eyes, oh, you have me completely.
We wasted no time in getting prepped to run the electrical lines through this trench because, wouldn't you know it, rain was in the forecast again. wind was insane this day, so I'm going to translate. The fish tape wasn't quite long enough for the full run, so we broke it up into 2 sections. This is the last one. Okay, so we're finally hooking up the power to this 30 amp box that we've got. It's also got a GFCI 20 amp plug. Now it's wired for 220, which means I'm gonna have to bring in my hot and then jumper so that it also energizes the other 2 circuit breakers here. What'd you do with my piece, Jax? Stole it from me. I'm gonna make a jumper and go from that piece to that piece and then hook up the neutral on the ground.
To the other side. Da-na-na-na.
To the one I've been worrying about since we started this whole thing.
Why is that?
Well, splicing 6-gauge wire is not the greatest, but I think I found some stuff that'll help us do it the right way, but it still makes me nervous. There's not a lot of room in that little box. The wires are hooked up, so we've got that whole connection on one circuit breaker. So now that everything's hooked up, we're gonna flip it on, we're gonna go test it and plug some stuff in and see if it works. And if it does, then we'll heat shrink it, cover all the boxes back up and fill the trench back in. But don't want to do that until we make sure it works like it should.
You just hear like a faint explosion outside.
All right, we're on the downward slope on electric. We got it all run and wired yesterday. We're starting to fill the trench back in, but I have one more thing I kind of don't want to do, but I'm gonna do. We're going to run another line out of this main box, underground, and then pop up here, sort of on the front, attached to one of these trusses with one more electrical box so that we can sort of plug things in on this side of the trailer. Don't want to dig another trench. I'm tired of digging trenches, but I think long term we're really going to appreciate having that plug over there. Okay, one more trench. That's all I got in me. Let's get it done.
Time to build a pump house. Well, the pump house is already built. It's time to put siding on the pump house.
We're kind of motivated. We're doing a few different things. We're trying to get the siding on that pump house. We're trying to get that extra electrical outlet run out of the box. We're trying to get the main electrical conduit trench filled back up.
Lots of things going on here.
We're just kind of all over the place right now.
Lots of things going on. Try to keep up. Does that sound mean?
A little.
Sorry. Much time. I got about an hour to get the paint on the pump house for the first coat, and then we're actually going to go to lunch with some friends, but I only have an hour. Wish me luck. Hopefully we can get this done in just an hour. Round 2. This is the second and last coat of paint, so hopefully we can get this done and get trim on today. We'll see.
What are you doing?
Today, on a brand new episode of Get This Pump House Done, we put the lid on, hinges are attached, My job is to make it to where when we raise that roof that we can leave it open. So I'm going to rig up some legs. What would you call it?
I don't think legs are the right word.
A way to open it and keep it open so that when Jonathan's in there working on it, it doesn't fall in his face.
Up, and then push that.
Push it up. And then push it in.
Swing in. Go. There you go.
Now set it down.
Bye, Dad.
Bye.
Yeah! Does it hit anything? Alright, lift it up. Oh my gosh, that's the easiest pump house.
Yeah, I trust that.
This is exciting. I got to use the brackets. We came up with a plan on the fly.
Improvising.
You don't always have to have a plan.
It's a useful life skill.
I'm pretty sure it's just called homesteading.
It's also just like how I live.
Yeah. Hey, I can almost stand up in it.
No, look at it.
Look at that. Yeah, that's good.
It's not going anywhere.
Now here's my other question. When you want to close this thing, how do you do that? And what happens to these guys?
Well, my plan is to put eye hooks in a bungee. Or, this would be a good idea. I have a great idea. Hold on. Pink.
Okay.
And then it's a two-person job.
Very much so.
But look at it.
Okay, I'll show you.
It's kind of genius.
Yeah.
Okay, I got the door. You guys work on that. Look at it.
All right, let's set it up.
Put the thing in there.
Down we go.
There. I did it. We did it. Good job.
Do you want to do the rest of the installation?
Yes, I do.
It means I get to stay inside.
It means you get to measure.
In my hole.
You get to measure.
Pump house is almost done on the building stage. Last step is we're going to get the solar panel mounted to the top of it. That way the whole thing can be covered and protected and we can come back and do the plumbing and electrical later. But this has to be hooked up and run through the roof before it can be done. Gotta say, your non-planned pump house turned out pretty dang good.
I knew it would.
Of course you did. But we have to fill the pump house with stuff. There's still more electrical to hook up, there's plumbing, and there's filters, and there's even a mini solar powered system.
Things are about to get nerdy.
All right, here's how we're modifying this box. Number one, we're coming out of this
With a
through,
hole.
coming out of this through the wall. We're gonna
With
put,
another hole.
Power's off.
guys,
There's gonna be 2 holes.
can I talk? We need to put a plug inside here. So we're coming.
Which you need a hole for.
Are you done?
Hole.
We're coming out, going through an LB into the wall. We're gonna have a plug inside. Then we have to come out the bottom with conduit. We're going all the way around the building, and we're installing a plug over on the front. And finally, we're gonna run another conduit out with a grounding rod just to ground this whole thing. So 3 holes, 3 conduits. What are you doing?
Holes. Okay, you got it in there?
Can I?
I got it.
Okay, just, okay. Goodness gracious.
You got it?
Yeah, I
want me to
got
help
it.
you?
No, I'm good.
Give it to
We're
me.
not pulling the piece.
Give it to me, baby.
Why are you pulling out the phone? Why are you asking questions? Why are you talking?
Why are you yelling? Can you see my hole? Can you push the foam board?
Okay, there you go. Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow, perfect.
Look at that. Foamy.
Okay, can you see through it? Oh no, why are you both filming?
How's it going?
Can make this.
Just
here
waiting
to
for
help.
your expertise to kick in.
Your what?
Hey, I don't want to do this wrong, so
I don't want you to either, and that's why I'm wondering if you want me to help you.
you're not helping. Just let me look something.
Always leave your blades open. That is one nice looking wall bed.
Look at that. There we go.
Does it bother you that the foam on that side is going vertical and the one next to it is horizontal?
No.
It bothers me.
I'm gonna run this off of this GFCI. So we're gonna need to pull this through, connect the hot and the neutral to here, and the ground to our ground plug.
You can't do it!
morning. We're back to finish the electrical. Last thing we're going to do is run a ground rod down to the ground here, and then a copper ground wire to it, and then we should be finished.
And we can fill in the trench?
And we can fill in the trench, yes.
Sweet.
Finally, we get to fill in this dang trench. How excited are we?
Very.
Yay. I did nothing.
Were you digging?
I surrender.
Did you dig a hole?
No.
Did we finally get to plumb this dang pump house? Let's do a quick explanation.
Okay.
The water's gonna come out of the ground from the tank. We're gonna elbow up and go into this, which will connect into the pump. So it's all gonna be pressurized. It's gonna go through here and it's gonna come out. It needs to go into the big pressure tank first. It's gonna come out of here, go through a shutoff, go into there, but it does need to tee off. And it's gonna come over here and it's gonna tee again. We're gonna go through another shutoff. And then these are for all the filters. So there's the spin down sediment filter, the whole house filtration, and the descaler, which is kind of like a water softener, but it doesn't use salt or electricity. And then a shut off on the other side. You'll notice there's two T's on the end. You can shut it off here and turn this on, and the water will still go through the system. So after that, we're gonna come down. We're gonna go through another T out to the spigot. It's gonna come out of the back wall here that the Airstream will be connected to. And then off of that T, we'll go around to the front corner of the building with our last spigot. The biggest thing I'm worried about at this point is fitting the filters and the pressure tank in this space and having enough room to have all the fittings work properly. So let's see if we can figure it out. Okay, they are about 8 inches apart. You're gonna fall. So while we're waiting on those filters to get flushed out, we have a whole lot of threaded connections we need to make.
Yeah, a ridiculous amount of threaded connections.
So many. So we're gonna get our tape, and we've got some joint compound. We're gonna go ahead and make up a lot of like these things here so that things will go a little faster when we start connecting the tubing.
We'll be using tape and the compound on all the connections except the ones that are going on the filter, because those instructions said specifically not to use it.
Glad we read those instructions, huh? See, it does pay to read the manual.
Not always. many connections do you think are going to leak when we put this all together?
The biggest possibility is going to be the filters, since we can't put any pipe dope on them.
I feel pretty good about this install. I feel like we're not going to have any leaks.
Yeah, I think this one will be pretty good.
So tell me what you need. You need a short piece, right?
Yeah, I think
Here.
so.
Here you go.
That's too short. Okay, don't do like we did. Make sure your descaler and filter are in the right order. You want to filter first, then descale. Somehow we got them switched up, and I just noticed that before we made that connection. So we gotta undo this real quick and switch them around. We're to the point where we need to put the actual hose bib through the wall. So we're going to drill straight through here next to this board so that we can like hose strap it there and give it a little extra support. It's a lot of insulation to go through. It's good though, right?
Yeah, 4.5 inches of insulation.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Time to look at our mini 12-volt system for the pump house. Now we do have AC power that's running up into the pump house, but what we want to do is create some redundancy here so that if the power ever does go out, because that is centralized, all that power is inside the solar shed, the inverter ever needed to be worked on, we want to still be able to have pressurized water, right? This is a similar idea to our other pump houses. We have 2 other ones right now. First one is connected to our original water tank. It's very simple. It's just a solar panel, a charge controller, a battery, and a water pump. When we did the Shelter Logic feed shed, we built a mini VRM 12-volt system, which uses all Victron components and a Global Link 520 that's cell-based, so we can pass the information about this system to the cloud. And then we use that same idea to build another mini 12-volt system for the Chicken Garden pump house. This will be the 3rd mini VRM system that we have. And it's going to be similar to the other ones, but a little bit different. It's got a 12-volt lead-acid battery. It's about 100 amp hours, way oversized. Now, the big difference between this mini VRM system and our other ones is that because we have AC power right here, we are going to use that to keep the battery charged. So usually this is all I have in here, but I also have the little smart charger, so it plugs in to your AC power, goes to the battery, and it keeps it topped off. Now on top of that, we are still doing solar. You can see there's a huge solar panel here, The only reason it's so big is because these panels from Santan Solar are so cheap. They're like $45. We had some left over from our big solar panel install, so I said, why not? Let's put it on there. So this will be a dual charging unit. If the AC power ever does go out, the solar will make sure that it stays charged up. Anyway, I'm rambling. We have a lot of custom cables to make, custom connections, crimps. So I'm just going to get started on this and start getting it hooked up. Got everything connected inside here. Run the solar wires in. We'll need to run our loads into our fuse block center here. And then we'll run wires in here that will be connected to our AC power charger. So this is kind of ready to be set aside for right now, and then hopefully put everything in there and get this project finished up. We're going to talk about all the different things that we did sort of after the hookup that we didn't necessarily get to film because we were in the middle of a bunch of other things.
First up is the switch.
Yep.
You may have saw we have a 12-volt switch. One of the switches is for the water pump. One is for the heating pad. So we can turn both on or off whenever we need to.
Yeah, and it's on the outside of the pump house so we don't have to lift up the very large lid to be able to get to those things. Second was that AC smart charger. We didn't get a lot of video of actually hooking it up, but again, it plugs into the AC outlet that we installed inside the pump house. It goes straight to the battery and it keeps it topped off so that we charge via our AC power, but also have that solar panel.
And finally, we had problems with our pressure tank.
It just wasn't filling up, and I think it's because the pressure was too high, and so it was just hitting that bladder. With a pressure tank, you want to set it 2 psi below when your water pump turns on, not when it turns off. So I had to let out like half of the air in the tank, which seemed wrong, but turns out it was right. Now you know.
That's a lot of talking, babe.
I know. I'm sorry. Pressure tanks. One thing we haven't done with this rainwater catchment tank is we haven't installed the overflow. It's not been full yet, but it could be, in the future. So we're going to put this in. So you drill a hole and you slide this in, and basically when the water gets to this level, it'll come out. It's got a screen on it, and then there's this other thing, which I don't have over here, but it's called a Mozzie stop that's going to go on that. We still have to get some pipe to actually come out and go down. But for now, we'll get this in, then we got to get that pipe, and we'll put in the rest of it. Again, this is temporary. We are going to actually plumb a PVC pipe out and down and then out a little bit to make sure that when the water comes out, it's not near the base of the tank, and definitely not near the base of the concrete pad over there. And then we'll create some sort of basin or like a tree or something that it can water. We get a lot of questions about the tanks and if they're going to let sunlight in and bacteria will start to grow, and like what do we do with standing water? Well, there's a reason we buy Enduraplast tanks, because look how thick that is. There's no sunlight that's going to get through that. So we're not worried about the water in our tanks at all, because these things are built for heavy outdoor use.
So, what does this all mean?
It means...
I was going to say, and then you
sorry. I thought you were asking me a question.
Okay, so what does all this mean? Do you want me to say? I'm going to ask a question and you can answer.
You want me to answer?
Yeah, do you want to answer it? Okay. So, what does all this mean?
It means that we get to start prepping the Airstream to move it to the airport.
What? We're going to clean up this deck, get all that stuff off there so that we can wash the Airstream, and that means we are this close to moving.
That's right. You just saw the very last video we ever took of the Airstream in its original spot. It seems like just yesterday when we pulled this thing onto this property and parked it there.
And now it's been 2.5 years. We've taken everything that we've learned and we have built a beautiful resting spot for our vintage Airstream, our tiny shiny home. Okay, it's moving day, and inside the Airstream, I gotta try to remember what all we have to do. We gotta get stuff off the counters, lock up cabinets so they don't fly open when we move, and just make sure everything that's in here isn't gonna fall on the ground and make a huge mess. It's been a long time since we moved. obviously. So let's see if we can remember what all we have to do.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to go into the garage and find the various tools. I can't even remember. Let's go. So the first thing I know that we need is the tool that will bring up the legs. It's a very special tool because it's a 50-year-old trailer. We gotta find that. I think we already have the hitch and the power cord, because the power cord we have now is a different one than we're gonna use. And I need to get the new heated hose, water hose, that we're gonna hook up.
Did you find all the stuff?
Found a lot of black widows.
Next step, babe.
All right, we need to uncover the tires. Spider City.
Yeah, we have so many black widows.
Can't even find matching gloves. This is bad.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Be brave. Maybe we should just go somewhere, babe. Instead of moving up there, you want to go on a trip.
Are the tires flat?
We gotta get this done.
No, they're just sunken.
They're sunken in the dirt.
You gotta wonder why. Okay, where's the tool? Are you actually ready to do this? Is it going to move?
Wait, what is that for? Oh yeah, the.
Will they come up?
Oh, the sweet soda.
Where's the drill? Seriously, where's the drill?
Babe, it's the last time you do it. Do it by hands. I half expected when you put those legs up for the back half of the Airstream just to fall off.
Oh, jeez. No. Although, yeah.
It's time. You want me to pull the truck around?
Yeah.
Are you gonna cry? I feel like I'm gonna cry.
Are you gonna cry?
I might. I don't know.
Why?
It's a big moment. This means this is where our house is going.
That is a big.
And we are one step closer. Oh, Joe!
He's a runaway.
so gross. Dramatic.
Can you see the level?
There it is. There he is.
Oh my goodness, guys.
It's time.
It's time. Can you believe it?
Yeah, because it's happening.
Okay.
We're not one for sentiment, apparently.
Okay.
So, let's get this thing moved.
I'm moving on, I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I'm moving on, I'm moving The weight fell on my shoulders, it hit my feet on the way down. But when I stop living, I'll start running again. I'm moving on, I'm moving on, I'm moving
We left all the wheel chocks and stuff down here, so we have to assemble them all and take them up so we can disconnect the truck and get it all locked in place.
Also, the chickens are finding all the spiders and things. Good job, ladies. Keep going. Is that everything?
No, we'll just walk back down. I still love these wheel chocks. The guy that sold us,
They are the best.
this guy that sold us this, I guess they came with the trailer. Like, you can get those fancy X chocks, but I like these so much better.
That's it. get up there? How are you gonna get up? Gonna have to build a step soon.
So the only thing we might do different here is kind of like for the power, get like an L shape so there's not so much tension here. Hey, you want to go on a shopping date with me?
Yes. So yesterday we moved the Airstream up to the pad.
Oh my goodness.
Went off without a hitch. Wait, with a hitch. We're headed to the big city. We're going to be going to the hardware store. We are also going to be looking for some plants, some planters, some things to make it look nice.
Also, we have a few other ideas for how we want to use that space that we're just going to go look at. And we still have a few things we need to finish up. There's still a few items on the punch list we need a few more materials for.
Yep. So, into town. Ready?
Yeah. How excited are you?
I'm very excited. This place is adorable. Look at it. These in my garden so bad. I know, like the kids say they're really creepy, but just imagine like really spiky plants coming out the top or like draping over the sides. We did it! This is the second Lowe's of the day, so hopefully we can get the rest of the furniture and get home. We're tired of being in town. Okay, we have a problem. I was like, it'll fit, no problem. And you were like,
no, it's not gonna fit.
It didn't fit. Weird is it pulling up to a different spot?
It's very weird.
I don't know when I'll get used to it.
It's gonna be a while for sure.
Also, we still haven't cleaned up the mess at the deck. It's real bad. Don't look. Don't look when you go by there. Oh, gee! Oh, come on. You can do it. You can do it. Come on. Yeah. You can do it. Come on.
Oh, Joe.
Come on.
Hi, baby.
You got it.
It's so far down.
I dropped it.
Hi, buddy. Hi.
It's gonna pee on me. Don't pee on me. Don't do this. Hi, buddy. Hi, oh my God. Oh, gosh.
that side.
Have the scissors so I can get started on
We're
that.
gonna lift it up. See?
And then flip it around.
Put those cushions on there.
You know that you got it, no doubt about it. They keep coming back for you. You're so hypnotic, no one can top it. They keep coming back for that style, that big smile. Go on, child, turn up the dial. You know what you gotta do, get wild. You ain't gotta play it cool, get wild. Take a rocket to the moon, get wild, get wild, get wild. Show me how you do it, the way you move it. They keep coming back for. Oh, this beat is stupid, we're rocking to it. They keep coming back for that style, that big smile. Go on, child, turn up the dial. You know what you gotta do, get wild. You ain't gotta play it cool, get wild. Take a rocket to the moon, get wild, turn up the dial. They keep coming back. They keep coming back for you. They keep coming back. They keep coming back for you. You know what you gotta do. You know what you gotta do. You know what you gotta do. You know what you gotta do.
Oh, almost. Come on, you got Oh, yeah.
Take a rocket to the moon. Get wild, get wild, get wild. They keep coming back. They keep coming back. They keep coming back. They keep coming back.
All right, so today is grading day. We've got our neighbor coming over with some machinery to sort of clean up and level out this whole area around the Airstream cover. I think he's going to also bring some gravel in around the edges of it so we don't track mud everywhere. It's going to be real interesting. But for now, we need to sort of clean up our mess because we got stuff all over the place and make sure everything is out of his way. Okay, final step of the Carport project. We got it graded all the way around, and we just got a bunch of rock that's been brought in. It's kind of hard to see in the shadows there, but now we have to move the rock. We're gonna put it about 6 feet out around the whole perimeter, smooth it out, tamp it down. That way we've got some drainage. We don't have a bunch of mud that we're making. I think it's gonna look nice, but it's gonna be a lot of work. So let's get started.
is crazy.
I'm not crazy.
He didn't like our grill in front of the Airstream.
So it was like over here, and it just was, I don't know. It was
I know, it was an eyesore.
It wasn't great. So we've moved it. So we brought our step that we were using over
on our new step.
Yeah, which it was too much. So we used it to put this on because this thing kind of drips. Now the other thing crazy that we just came up with today that we're going to do is we're going to move our deep freeze.
Guys.
So the deep freeze is back behind the solar shed. It's been there since we built it.
It's just kind of in an inconvenient spot. So I was like, it would fit perfect right here.
Right behind the Airstream. I think it's a great idea, but it does mean we're going to have to take everything out of the freezer. I feel like we're finally getting this, like I feel like we've almost got the space figured out.
Yeah. We did promise a cost breakdown at the end of the video, and this is by far the most complicated and most expensive project we've ever done.
Now we're going to try something a little different with this cost breakdown. Instead of listing every tiny little item and a specific cost, we're just going to give you broad categories to give you an idea of roughly what a building like this might cost.
Keep in mind, this is all prices of summer 2022.
Your mileage may vary.
First up was our 19 by 36 Miracle Truss building. That includes all the trusses, the hardware, the X-bracing, the roofing panels, and the engineered drawings.
But not the lumber.
No.
And that was $13,500.
Speaking of lumber, we did need to order 2 by 8 by 12 foot boards, and that was $900 worth of lumber.
Like we mentioned, we did have to hire someone to pour that concrete pad. It was 19 foot by 36 foot, and it cost $7,000.
Our 3,000 gallon water tank cost $32.50.
We had to rent a scissor lift and a trailer to haul the scissor lift on, and it ended up being for a whole month for a lot of reasons we won't get into, but that cost us $1,700. Since we couldn't get a telehandler, we had to hire a bucket truck operator to set the trusses, and that cost $500.
Gutters, downspouts, and all the fittings were $1,700.
All the items for the gray water septic were about $600, and then all the AC electrical, conduit, the wires, all the connections, that was about $1,500.
The pump house structure, which included lumber, insulation, and the concrete pad, worked out to be about $1,200.
And then everything that went inside it, as far as plumbing, the filters and the pipe and the connections, that was $1,400. The mini 12-volt system for the pump house was about $1,300.
All the outdoor furniture, which included lights, our step, our plants, our chimenea, all that stuff worked out to be about $2,000.
And then we had the grading and the gravel brought in, and that was $1,200. And we spent about $300 in like random tools and stuff like that.
From start to finish on this project, we spent about $38,000.
Seems like a lot.
That sounds like so much.
But when you think about, there's a 50-year warranty on the Miracle Truss building, and then we did like a whole like water catchment, a pump house, the outdoor furniture, the concrete pad, the finishing work. Man, it's a lot.
Yeah, but if we had hired that done, we would have spent even more money. And future, this could be an Airbnb. We're investing in the future.
Totally.
My goodness, if you guys made it to the end of this video, you get a high five. This has been our longest full build video yet. Let's do a quick recap.
We planned and designed an open frame cover for our tiny shiny home to protect it from sun, rain, and hail. We had the concrete pad poured by professionals, but we were able to assemble the metal truss building mostly by ourselves. We added gutters and a rainwater catchment wet delivery system to a storage tank, built a dual charging solar-powered pump house complete with filtration and descaling, installed a gray water septic, ran AC power from our off-grid solar system, and designed a beautiful outdoor living space for us to use while building our house.
So, how's this all working out?
Well, it's been about a month since we finished the project, so we wanted to give you a few updates. First, we love it so much.
Yeah, having a place to sit has been a total game changer.
And all of the shading seems to be working well. It's warming it up during the winter. We know that it's going to shade it in the summer. The structure itself is super sturdy. We're not worried about the winds. The pump house is working great.
We have 4 inches of insulation in that pump house, and it hasn't dropped below 50 degrees. Plus, that descaler has minimized the amount of lime that we get in our lines.
It's been great. And finally, the grading and the gravel around the whole area really makes it feel like home. For now, at least. Because remember, the whole point of this project was to move the trailer so that we can start building our house where it used to be.
We will be starting on our house project soon, but for now, if you've enjoyed this build, check out our previous builds.
There's the Hyper Adobe Solar Shed office, our DIY off-grid solar system, our permaculture berm and swale, and our earthback chicken garden.
And make sure you're subscribed because there's so much more to come.
We are just getting started out here, and we hope to see you soon.